I miss Mayhem 4. Now, of course, this isn't anything new, as in the past I've already done videos on Mayhem 4, but I recently hopped on and I was just having a lot of fun playing through it, and it just reminded me that I really do think if I could pinpoint any part of Borderlands 3's lifespan where I would have said it was at the best version of itself, it would have been here. There's something about it to me which just feels so picture perfect, or at least super close to picture perfect, that I have a hard time faulting it. There are things in Mayhem 4 which you could say are bad, like the extra projectile stuff or fake grasping, but to me, and I'll say this with my chest, I actually think that was perfectly fine and should have been left as is. Was it extremely busted? Sure, but I'll take this any day over stuff like the Guardian Angel, which I just can't stand. This was also at the point where we were discovering stuff like Chain Zane, and it made Maliwan Takedown even more iconic because of it. And this was also before we got stuff like DLC 3 as well, so the game was still relatively small, but I really didn't mind it at the time because what we did have was incredibly enjoyable. This was also around the same time that things like the Wedding Invitation and the Unseen Threat were absolutely wrecking, and that for me was the time when sniper rifles felt the most fun to use also. But of course there are some downsides to Mayhem 4, like at this point we didn't have any of the other trees for the Vault Hunters, and we also didn't have any of the Mayhem items because this was actually before Mayhem 6. But I don't know, man, it was just really fun to me, and I wish we could just get a standalone version of Borderlands 3 release like this. I know it would be a lot of work and it's not going to happen, but if I could pray for one thing from BL3, it would be a Mayhem 4 revamp. And because I know I'm going to get a lot of comments about it, the way I'm playing Mayhem 4 is by using a downpatcher, which is a pretty annoying way to go about playing on Mayhem 4, and I wouldn't recommend doing it just for the sake of it. But it's nice to get a little blast from the past, especially because, again, I just really think Mayhem 4 was the pinnacle of Borderlands 3, and I don't think we've ever seen Borderlands in a state that good since. Not in Borderlands 3, and definitely not in Wonderlands. At this point, I guess all we can really do is just hope that when Borderlands 4 comes around, we see something similar to where Mayhem 4 was, and they stick with it, because again, we've talked about level caps in the past, and I am not a big fan of them. I think 57 would have been a fine stopping point, although it would have been a really odd number. But that's just my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll check you in the next one.